This segment brought to you by Sure Crop, liquid crop nutrition delivered right to your farm.
Hello and welcome to Horsin Around. I'm Dr. Chris Blevins at Veterinary Health Center here at Kansas State University, joined today by Dr. Teresa Douthit. Welcome.
Hello.
Dr. Douthit is an equine nutritionist over in animal science and is an associate professor over there and does great projects, has great information about horse nutrition. And today I thought that we would have you just kind of talk a little bit about older horses and maybe some aspects of maybe starting with management of older horses, or what people should do when they have an older horse that maybe they didn't realize how to feed them.
Okay. Well, you know, a lot of people know and realize that as horses get older, it gets hard to maintain weight on those horses. They start to lose weight. It gets hard to keep them looking good. Pretty soon you can see the ribs and the hip bones, you know, become prominent, and owners, you know, they know that this is an issue, and a lot of times they don't maybe realize exactly what's going on. In these horses, there's really three different things that kind of come to mind for me. One, a lot of times their teeth get pretty poor, and they have a hard time really chewing and you know, really being effective when they consume roughage in particular. And so dental care becomes really important in these horses. You know, these horses, a lot of times you'll see them dropping feed and excess salivation and things, but you might not see that either. And so in these horses, as a veterinarian, as you know, it's really important to get their teeth floated routinely or at least checked. Yeah. So teeth is an issue. Another one, a lot of times these geriatric horses become very submissive, and they, you know, if they're fed in a group situation, the other horses tend to get all the feed, and the geriatric horse backs away. It won't fight for the feed, and so that can become an issue. One, they won't fight for the feed. They're really submissive and they'll back away. But two, they eat very slowly, and so a lot of times with these geriatric horses, we need to somehow modify our management practices to make sure they're getting enough feed.
You know, and I think that's really a great point, is some people just forget about that of hierarchy and just the feeding and by nature kind of how horses interact. So that is really good points. The other thing, you know, that I always hear from owners, and you probably do too, is we need to change their food. Do we have to change, you know, they're old, we got to feed them old horse feed or something like that. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, with old horses, because their teeth are not very good and their ability to absorb nutrients declines over time as well, they do need higher quality feeds. And a lot of people want to focus on the grain, but you know, the basis of an equine ration should be hay. We need to make sure whatever roughage we're feeding the horse is really good quality. You know, a mature horse probably, you know, may do fine on mature prairie hay, but a geriatric horse probably is not going to. You know, he needs some higher quality hay. And the other thing, you know, the big thing with these horses is just getting as many calories into them as we can. And so generally something with a high fat content, fat is easily digestible. It's something the horse handles really well, and it's got more calories than anything else. So whether that be purchasing a high fat feed or top dressing with corn oil, you know, anything we can do to increase the fat content in the diet. And with the teeth issues, if the horse, even if we've got high quality hay, sometimes they can't eat it very well. And if that's the case, we may need to switch to something like a complete feed that has the fiber source already in the feed. You know, it's been processed, and so usually it's, you know, kind of a pelleted form, and so the horse doesn't have to chew it up as well. And a lot of times, you know, like a complete senior feed would use something like beet pulp, which is really highly digestible, and so you'll see a lot of that in senior rations. And so, you know, you can start with making sure you've got good quality hay. If the horse isn't eating it, however, you may want to consider a complete ration, and where the pelleted feed provides everything the horse needs. You know, if they want to eat hay, great, but they don't have to, because they're getting the forage and the other feed source along with supplementing fat.
And I think those are really great information about just feeding the older horse. And I think if people have questions, they have older horses, they can sure contact their veterinarian, but also equine nutritionists will really be helpful in that kind of information that's needed to kind of feed an older horse. So you can sure get a hold of Dr. Douthit. She's at the Animal Science Department in the university. And then at the vet school here, you could always get a hold of us too, and we can get you in contact with Dr. Douthit if needed for that too. Well, thank you for joining us for Horsin Around, and thank you, Dr. Douthit.
You're welcome.
I'm Dr. Chris Blevins at Kansas State University Veterinary Health Center, and we'll see you around.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.